Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Happy Monday everyone. We're here to do two videos today. Video number one is going to be something I've put off for a long time. So as you know, I'm watching Titans as a weekly show because HBO Max is putting out week to week instead of binging like some shows, which is just kind of how Titans goes, right? Which is great. But because I'm watching all these shows and some of the ones that are on the CW, because it's a cable show, I miss out on watching because I'm focused on the Disney Plus and the HBO Max because it's streaming, right? So it's easy, you can watch it anytime and there's no commercials, where DVR requires commercials sometimes. So let's get this out of the way. So we're here to talk about Stargirl. Now, I love the first season, don't get me wrong. I was not sleeping on this show. I was not going, oh, I don't want to watch season 2 because it could be bad because this is the first season that's on the CW. Because I know a lot of people had that worry. But no, this right from the get-go of the first episode, the quality is not only the same as season 1, it's better. Because I loved season 1. I love what this show stood for. I love that season 1 was a light-hearted superhero show with some dark elements, but mostly light-hearted, which is cool. And it was about the JSA taking on the Injustice Society, which is where we continue in episode 1, guys. So Stargirl episode 1 of season 2, Summer School. We're starting from here. So, picks off, we're getting, as you know from last season, we got Eclipso introduced. So this episode picks up with that. We get kind of a Shining vibe with this little girl almost being possessed by this dark force. And it leads to some very interesting things in the dynamic and in the tone, and so that was really cool. And then we get to present day with Courtney kind of adjusting with the JSA, kind of being like, look, we're here. I gotta prepare. The Injustice Society is coming. Like, they're still out there. There's more members to get. We gotta deal with it. And Pat's like, oh, they're gone. Everything's taken care of. We don't have to worry about it. You need to focus on balance. Finding that balance. Being Stargirl, but also being Courtney. And being Courtney means focusing on your studies, like your promise you had with your mom last season. So then Courtney has a part of the episode where she gets into two situations. One, she starts slipping in school, so she has to go to summer school, which is how things go. Also, she gets into a fight with Artemis Croc, aka the daughter of Sportsmaster and Tigress. So that's pretty interesting. We'll talk about her character because she's going to be heavily influenced as we get to episode 4, which will be the next episode after episode 3. And here we're talking about the first 3 episodes. So this episode was pretty good. Got you right into the gist of things. Not a lot of action, but there was some. You get to see Rick still kind of taking care of Grundy from last season. A lot of people still think it's done. So that was a very interesting first episode. Very interesting setup. Eclipso, kind of get to see where things are coming from. Pat was getting excited about vacation, but summer school kind of ruined that plan. So now, let's get in episode 2. So, no, first, before episode 2, guys, look, I'm going to review each of these and give my ranking. So, Stargirl episode 1, first season premiere on the CW, I'm going to give it an 8.6. It was a good premiere. There's some good stuff in it. It was a very solid, very fun, very good episode. Very interesting stuff. Kind of dark in the beginning. Now, on to episode 2. So this is the Green Lantern episode. So, let me start by saying, first, holy crap. We got more Green Lantern in this episode than we got with Digglein as Green Lantern in a whole 8 seasons of Arrow. Like, seriously, Guggenheim, you couldn't have done something. I mean, come on. You worked on the Green Lantern movie, for crying out loud. Give us something in the next crossover, please. So that's just kind of a little rant on that. But yeah, so we get introduced to, we learn Alan Scott's Green Lantern. His daughter is alive. So this episode we see her going through foster homes. We kind of see her living the opposite life of what Courtney had lived. And so this episode kind of kicks off with, we get to know her backstory a little bit. And then we get to see Jenny confront Courtney. So we get the staff versus the ring. And we learn that Jenny's able to have the powers without the ring charging for her. She is the charging battery. So when the lantern starts having issues, she kind of deals with it, and you feel, oh, this is what's going on. This is how we're dealing with the situation with the ring, right? So, and then she fully gets to discover her powers. But Courtney actually has a point of jealousy when dealing with this, because You see that she's jealous of Jenny because Jenny got to know her dad being a superhero, and Courtney didn't, because Courtney's dad was not who she thought he was. Fraud, a lie, all these things. It just wasn't the way it was meant to be. So that was kind of unfortunate for her, and she deals and grows with it. All the members of the team grow with what they're dealing through. Beth is still kind of struggling with things going on with her parents, and also struggling with the fact that we're dealing with, trying to help this Green Lantern and do our thing, and that's kind of a big thing. So this episode was great. We got to see real growth. We got to see Courtney kind of struggle. We got to see some interesting stuff. Even in the summer school, Yolanda's still dealing with some struggles. The whole team is basically struggling in big ways. I'm going to give episode 2 of Stargirl Summer School, which is the tagline of the season, I'm going to give this a 9.3 out of 10. This was a great episode. Very well done. Very fun at times. And also, we got the introduction of, we met Courtney's mom ends up meeting Robert Swift, which ends up being, of course, our villain of the season, the Shade. And we got to see Courtney. We got to also see Courtney's mom not only interacting with the Shade, but Pat goes and checks him out, figures out he's the Shade, realizes this is going to be a problem. We're going to have to learn how to deal with this, because he knew him from the past, and he's one of the most dangerous villains that we've ever faced. Also, Cindy, being equipped from Eclipso, gets into a fight with her stepmom, and the stepmom wants, if you want your old life back, you need to kill your daughter. So he kind of tricks her. But then Cindy finds a way to get control back, and Eclipso and her their roles are kind of being Jekyll and Hyde, and they're kind of trying to decide where they stand. So that's pretty crazy. So I'm going to give this episode, featuring a Green Lantern, I'm going to give this a 9.3 out of 10, guys. This was a very big step up from episode 1, and a very good narrative idea of where we're going with this season. Now let's get into episode 3. So episode 3 does not have a ton to talk about, but let's just skip to the good stuff, alright? So we're just continuing seeing Courtney struggle through summer school. She's actually quite smart, learning things, and she's excited because she finds out that there's now a villain to fight in Blue Valley. The Shade has reared his head, and they're going to try and take him on. So while Pat's concerned about how dangerous of a threat he is, Courtney's like, let's go take out another villain. And I love her enthusiasm. It's kind of hilarious how she's like, yeah, let's go, I'm so excited, I'm gonna get my staff and go cause trouble, right? So that's pretty cool. And so then the team assembles after, we're having some doubts. They go to confront the Shade, and the Shade basically is like, look, I'm doing this, and earlier in the episode, Courtney's mom meets the Shade again, but as his human persona, and he says that he's got this box that he wants from her, and she doesn't give it to him. And then he leaves and says, I thought we could be more reasonable about this. But then they set this up later where they confront the Shade. They ask his purpose. He's very smart with them, very much playing a checkerboard with them. He outsmarts all of them. They kind of are able to escape, but his end game becomes more clear towards the end of the episode, because we see him unleashing the diamond later, which confirms that him and Eclipso are definitely in league. Also in this episode, we get to see Mike kind of struggle with, he wants to be on the JSA, so he ends up meeting up with our buddy Johnny Thunder. And so we got to see Thunderbolt as like a genie type figure, and it's very fun. It's a little nice, fun element in this episode. While the first 2 episodes were pretty dark, this episode adds some more humor to it and some more heart, which is always good. So this was a really good episode. I'm going to give episode 3 of Stargirl, I'm going to give it a 9.4 out of 10. Another great episode, guys. Loving this season. Can't wait for episode 4. Hope you guys enjoyed my Stargirl content, and I'll see you guys in the next video. See you next time, guys.